How did you guys get discovered back then? Was it just from playing clubs, or how did you get discovered by Megaforce?
No, Sam Taylor was our manager, and he was first cousin to Bill Ham, who has managed ZZ Top until he died. And Sam Taylor kind of came into the picture and says, hey, man, I can get you a record deal. Let's work together. And so he started grooming us, and we did a demo. We had Andy Johns come out and produce it, and we shopped it around. We shopped it to every major record label, and we got rejected by every major record label. And Sam just kind of didn't know what to do. And we were just kind of like playing around Houston and not getting a crowd or nothing. We were just playing and trying to do it, and nothing was really happening. Sam told me not to give the demo to anyone or let anyone hear it. He wanted to be in control of it. He was seriously, I didn't know it at the time, was a serious controlling person. And it was very important that we didn't let anybody hear it. Me, like a dumbass, I let people hear it anyway. And a friend of mine heard it, and I made a copy for him, and he was an old roommate. And he moved to Nashville, Tennessee to drive trucks and buses, tour buses. And he started driving this tour bus for Amy Grant, whose drummer knew me and Ty and Jerry because he met us way back in the day when we played back in, we were a rhythm section for a Christian artist back in '85. That's why we moved to Texas. But anyway, he heard of us, and people who had ever heard King's X, seems like they never forgot us. And they always could go, what's up with those guys, you know? So for some reason, these guys hooked up on the tour bus, and he says, so what's up with King's X? What's going on with him? And he says, well, here's a demo that they have. And he gave it to this guy. The guy listened to the demo. Make a long story short, he called me up and says, dude, what's up? I go, everybody's rejected us. He says, well, there's this record label called Megaforce. He says, their music isn't anything like what you do, but you should give them a try. His name's Jonny Zazula. Here's the address. And so I said to Sam, I disobeyed you and let someone hear this CD, but we may get a record deal. And here's the deal, too. So Sam sent the package to Megaforce, and his name is Sam Taylor. Now, Marsha Zazula, Johnny's wife, she got this cassette in the mail, and it said Sam Taylor. Well, she so happened to know a guy named Sam Taylor. Now, any other time, if it had been somebody else's name, they would have probably threw it in the pile of the hundreds of tape they listened to and might have never even heard it. But she opened it up and listened to it. And then she found out it wasn't Sam. She went to Johnny and said, Johnny, listen to this. I think we got something here. This is something different. And that's how it started. And they contacted us, and they brought us to L.A., and we played at the Cat Club in front of a bunch of record executives. And Joey Ramone came into the club and stood in the middle of the floor, and it was called the Cat Club, a little shithole. And he watched us play our whole set. And then we got signed.
That's incredible.
Yeah. I mean, it's all about luck. Any record company, I mean, any band that you ask how they got signed, it's an incredible story, I think. Every story is that way.
Just going back a tiny bit, fascinating that you had Andy Johns cut your demo, and he was probably pretty wild, I think, at that time period. What was it like?
Yeah. His, what do you call it? His liquid refreshment. When we got there at noon, he had a bottle of vodka and orange juice, and he sipped on that until Sam said, okay, session's over, let's go home. Andy, go home, I'll go back to the hotel, we'll talk to you tomorrow. Because Andy was like, basically would get to the point where he'd start just telling stories about Jimi Hendrix and The Who, and it just got to the point where it wasn't productive. And so he went home. So, yeah, that's how it happened.
You didn't finish the demo?
Yeah,
demo. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, we finished it. It sounded like Cinderella. That's what he had just did. And I remember he brought the test pressing with him and gave it to me and said, tell me what you think. And I brought it back and I said, it's just buried in echo. And that's how he made our demo.
Just tons of reverb.
Oh, yeah, it was. He mixed at ear-deafening volumes. We always would leave the building sometimes when he mixed. And then we'd go in and listen. We'd make him turn it down really low so we could actually hear it. He would bring a couple subs and a couple PA cabinets in there and just blast. I mean, the walls would shake.
It looked like you guys would always use the same studio in Houston, Rampart Studios.
We did for those first 4 records. Yeah, that was the engineer engineered the Floor Elevators, the band that Billy Gibbons was in before he started ZZ Top, and they had a single out that kind of it charted in Texas. Sam just really wanted us to be tangled up into that Texas mentality, that Texas, the way you sell a band in Texas, that ZZ Top thing. Sam always said, if you can get everybody to love you in Texas, they will love you forever. It doesn't matter if you never even get out of Texas. And if you look at ZZ Top, and that's exactly what they did. They are that little old band from Texas. And Sam tried to make us that. And we resisted in a lot of ways because we resisted everything. Anybody that tried to make us something that we weren't, we just resisted. It didn't matter if we would lose our record deal or whatever. We weren't going to be fake.
Was Eddie Trunk involved with your signing? Or?
Yes, he wasn't. I don't know if he was signed, but he was there at the beginning. And Eddie will tell that story. He was there when he heard the demo, and he was there. I think he was there when we played the Captain.
He was just kind of like your A&R guy, or what was he?
Oh, no, all he did back then was that he boxed records and, stuff like that. He was a worker in the building.
And then any cool Jonny Z or Marsha stories?
Not anything specific other than they were so caring and so loving. And even to this day, I think about how good they made us feel and loved and cared for, and I miss them. When we would play in Sellersville, and they lived outside of that town, and every time we would play there, they would both come out, and we always would make sure they had a table, a special spot, and I always called them out in the middle of the set and said, if it wasn't for these two people right here, we wouldn't be here right now. And I never would ever not say that when they were there.